Hello everybody, hey, it's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Thanks for joining me. It is Monday, April 5th, 2024, 5:40 p.m. Pacific Time, and what I'm going to do for you today, I was racking my mind, what should I do for a video today? Should I do some more short prints or hits or whatever? And then I was like, wait a minute, it's Monday. Let's do some minor league Monday. So that's what I'm going to do. So, and my Cubbies are playing the Twins. So shout out to Stuke and Commenting Collector. And I was exchanging messages with Commenting Collector. And he turns out to be a Cub fan, I guess. So I didn't know that. Gonna have to go back and watch his older videos. Wish we were there at Wrigley Field watching old Cubbies play the Twins. So that's cool. I don't know, the game's not on tonight streaming, so that's unfortunate. But shout outs to Commenting Collector, Stuke 76, 1976, TCB Sports Cards, Commenting Collector, Clean Cheap Shots, Mr. Mangini, A Collector's Dream, Diver Dave, and Zeon Calling. Alright. A lot of those were comments about my special face episode. So that was fun. It was a long day today. Still not feeling 100%. But anyway, so here we go on Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. We're going to do some minor league stuff, specifically important to me. But hey, since I was just shouting out a Commenting Collector, Robert, so here's a I have this with my minor league stuff in a shoebox. This is a 2010 TNA New Era, the New Era, and there's some Hulk Hogan there on TNA. Just so you could see that. I know you're a Hogan fan, so TriStar, pretty cool stuff. Got a ton of this stuff. I really only wanted the hits, so I have that. And then, in honor of the fact that it was baseball trading card day the other day, then I found this one in there too, the 2006 baseball card day. That's where Upper Deck and Topps gave you some cards. Had this little advertisement card in there. Got that in Albuquerque back in the day because Noble was kind of a sports card, gaming cards, and like video game kind of little store. They had like 2 of them or 3 of them in the city. And so you used to be able to pick up some junk like this, and obviously they're charging you for it when it's supposed to be free, but nevertheless. And there you got Vladimir Guerrero in there, and it says T1, so not Terminator 1, Rob. It's not Terminator 1. It's trading card day number 1 on the tops there. I believe I have a pack of this open in my oddball stuff. I might have already showed some of it, but nevertheless, we're not going to open that. And then kind of neat thing, like I said, me and my wife in 2016, we hit up all the baseball stadiums on the West Coast. And, you know, Angels, Dodgers, San Diego, Oakland, San Francisco, and Seattle. And we hit up some minor league stadiums, like I'll be showing in a future episode of Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Like we went to Sacramento, Fresno, San Jose, Monterey, I think Albuquerque that year as well. And when we were in Portland, we were going there on our way to Seattle. We mostly stayed in Portland because we were thinking about moving, but nope, no thank you. But we stopped off at a Portland Pickles independent baseball game, and I thought that was the coolest little mascot. That's super funny. Pickles, getting in a pickle in baseball, that's funny. And there was their little schedule, so grabbed that. Actually got in for free. And I'll show the ticket stub at some point in time whenever I get around to that stuff. Maybe I should do my other YouTube channel just for ticket stubs. Alright, so that was neat. I figured I'd show you guys that. So what is my plan today? I am going to show you guys my favorite minor league team. I mean, of course, I like the Iowa Cubs because I want the Cubs to do good. But I grew up in Albuquerque, so I've always been an Albuquerque fan. And once the Dukes left in like 2000, they were the Dodgers farm team, the Albuquerque Dukes. Around for a long time. Tommy Lasorda managed them. They won some championships. I think Lasorda won one or two with them. Uh-oh, hey folks, what do we got here? It's not just a special person. We're talking about the Albuquerque Isotopes right now on Minor League Monday. Guess who this is? It's my Isa Hottie. Hi, baby.
Hello.
Look,
hey, everybody.
my Isa Hottie came home because she's got an Isotopes hat and an Isotopes jersey, and she looks super cute. She puts her hair in a little ponytail and
Isotopes Raglan.
yeah, oh yeah, she got that Isotopes Raglan shirt. Hi, people.
Hi, everybody.
Wow, I'm gonna pause you guys. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for hanging in there. My wife came home. So the Albuquerque Isotopes. Where was I? So, and before 2000, Albuquerque Sports Stadium, getting pretty old, and it was a piece of crap. Anyways, I didn't like it, and they wanted a new stadium, and then the city. Now, this is one of Albuquerque's big problems. Kind of what Oakland's going through right now. For whatever reason, Albuquerque, it's a medium-sized town. It's the biggest in the state. And but they have small town syndrome, and they never think that they could afford something or somebody doesn't want it, and they don't want it in their neighborhood, like a new stadium and all this other stuff, and they don't want to spend money. That's what Oakland's going through, and they keep losing everything. Well, that's what happened to Albuquerque Dukes. They couldn't get a new stadium. The city wouldn't even think about it. Like, they were like, no, because they wanted to put an amphitheater in Albuquerque, and the city was like, nope. And they're going through it right now with the New Mexico United soccer team. They're trying to build a new stadium at the Bloom Fiesta Park, and the neighborhood around there is like, no. So they're fighting it. So it's always somebody keeping Albuquerque from ever moving forward. And it's like they kind of got that syndrome, like, we don't deserve this. We don't need this. We're not big enough. And they're always going to stay small when they think small, as opposed to like Chicago or San Francisco. These people, they push it through. They're like, yeah, we're getting this done. Yeah, you're either on or you're not. Nevertheless, so the Dukes left, and I don't know, Calgary or somewhere, or Portland. And then Major League Baseball was like, uh-oh, no, we want to have a AAA team in Albuquerque, so they'll help support getting one back. And so then in like 2000 and like soon after the Dukes left, they put it up for a vote, new stadium downtown or refurbish the old stadium, and put it to a vote, and the people voted on refurbishing the old stadium. So basically they tore the whole thing down, left the field, and left the little tunnels that go to the clubhouse, and then they built a brand new beautiful stadium around it, and that was their remodel. Just beautiful stadium. And so then when they started announcing, at the contest, what should the name be, and the Albuquerque Isotopes was one of them, because that's from a Simpsons episode where Hungry Hungry Homer sees that the guy's going to move the Springfield Isotopes to Albuquerque, goes on a hunger strike. And so the people voted, and that's what they chose, the Albuquerque Isotopes. And then they have this beautiful retro futuristic logo that they did. I just love it. Now these hats were at like Walgreens like months before, like let's say in the winter, before the baseball season ever started. So I picked one up right away, and I love this hat. It's just an old school beat up little hat before the yeah, they're officially licensed, but before the actual stuff came out. Anyway, so, and then I went in there and I bought as many tickets as I could, which was like some for me and my friends, and then some extra ones, which I ended up selling over through the classified ads. Back then there was no Craigslist, and I made not a whole lot of money, but I made some good money, like maybe like $75 a ticket, and they were probably like 30. I don't know. Allegedly, I mean, I might be remembering that wrong. But anyways, I did get some extra tickets and made a little, basically paid for my tickets. And we went to opening day is what I'm getting at. So, before we get to the cards, here's my ticket stub from the April 11th, 2003, 7:11 p.m. Isotopes. Yeah, YouTube the stadium. It's just beautiful, like the fly through. And so yeah, these were like, I got the cheapest seats I could without being in the berm. The grass area was only on sale day of, I think. Anyhow, they ended up losing though, but that was okay. It was cool. Sellout. I have a poster at work showing the opening ceremony. There was country singing there. I can't remember who. It's probably on the back of this ticket stub, but I'm not going to pull it out. And so the poster has the planes flying over from the Air Force Base, like F-16s, and that was super cool. And so I went with my buddies. So here we are, and so hopefully this comes in. So what I'll point out here, so this is the Isotope Stadium, where the old Albuquerque Sports Stadium used to be. That building across the street over there is the legendary pit where the New Mexico Lobo basketball teams play. And right over here across the street is the UNM football stadium where the New Mexico Bowl is. And then if you go down this street that runs in between these, right down here is I-25, the interstate, and just a few, like a mile or a mile and a half away from I-40, which is the main one that goes from the East Coast all the way to Los Angeles. So anyways, we were in this little area, this little notch of seats up here in the corner, and super cool. This is a cool, it's an old-fashioned design stadium, but just like their logo, very retro futuristic. And as you can see right here, I'm wearing my Cubs shirt because I have to rep the Cubs. But there is that hat that I just showed you. So there's the hat, and that was pretty chunky, starting to get pretty chunky at the time. That's my buddy John and his daughter Jocelyn, my buddy Brian, and then John's buddy and my buddy Matt. And so we all went to that game together. So that's cool. So I figured I'd show you guys that. And sometime, I don't know what day the card giveaway was, and I don't even, to be honest with you, remember if I was there on baseball card day or if I found these like in the parking lot. It could have been, but we'll see. If any of these are really tore up, then that means I probably found them either in the parking lot or in the stands that somebody had stepped on. But these are the 2003, so that's the inaugural season. Now it's a wonderful place. So here's, when you can see the picture, you can see the side here, and we're sitting like right over here. And it's just a beautiful stadium. It's old-fashioned but modern, very retro-futuristic, kind of like Isotopes. And the name fits because we've got the Sandia National Labs and the Air Force Base and all that tech that goes on there, and the fact that they had the Manhattan Project, first atomic bombs and all that in Albuquerque. I believe the Air Force Base is the stockpile of the nuclear armament for the United States. They keep it buried in bunkers in the mountain. So if there's ever war, Albuquerque's gone. Just beautiful city though. Albuquerque's just beautiful. It's got a lot of crime, but not like you walking down the street getting mugged kind of crime. It's like gang on gang kind of crime, or stolen, like breaking your car kind of stuff. But nevertheless, so here we go. It's got that little minor league hologram there. So let's see. I could have ended up, if this could have been either I did get this on baseball card day or I got it in the pro shop, because I don't think this is the one that I found in the parking lot, because that has some really damaged cards. Alright everybody, so here we go. So Isotopes Park, they call it the Lab. Now it's something Rio Grande Credit Union at Isotopes Park, but the nickname is the Lab. And there's that beautiful Isotopes logo. They started off as the Florida Marlins um, farm team. That lasted 4 or 5 years, and then they went back with the Dodgers, and that lasted 3 or 4 years, and then the Dodgers bought, I think, Oklahoma's team, and now they're the Dodgers farm team, and then we became the Colorado Rockies farm team, which makes sense because Albuquerque's actually a little higher than at Colorado. Denver. Albuquerque actually has a spot in the city that you're actually at a mile high, and in Coors Field you got to be up in the upper deck, and that purple section, the purple row, is at a mile high. So Denver's just like a few hundred feet lower than Albuquerque, so it works because the players get to play in a very similar altitude environment. Unfortunately, at the cost of the Colorado Springs had a AAA team, and they lost it. So anyways, kind of patinaed a little bit. So HOK Sports did the design for the stadium, and they're most famous for doing the design for the Camden Yards and many other of the major league parks, the retro ones. Yeah, but I've seen some newer ones that I'm not a big fan of. So it used to fit only 11,000 seats. I think it's 12,500 now. Alright, so you can read that. So, alright, folks. Moving right along, Dean Treanor, their first manager. Alright, let's see what we got on here. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to put these cards. I'm going to make an adjustment on this camera. I'm stretched out a little too far. Alright, so photo by the Albuquerque Journal. Multi-Ad Sports, sponsored by Allstate. So, kind of oddball cards. So from San Luis Obispo. Alright. Doesn't this remind you of kind of the modern, like this year's or the last couple years of Topps and Bowman, where it's like doesn't have a border on this side? So that's interesting. Gary Buckles. So let you pause that and read about Gary if you like. Alright, this guy was, I think, our power hitter. Matt Starks. I do have a few hats. I have the road hat and the all black hat, the home hat. I'm just not a super fan of how high they are. And I have a jersey, but it's shrunk on me, so I can't really wear it as a jersey. I can leave it as like an open shirt, so I have to have a shirt under it as well. So there we go. Mesa, Arizona there. Wife's beat because they're moving from her one office to another office, moving from Sunnyvale to San Jose, so she's basically a manager in charge of all the move, and so having to tear wires and furniture and stuff out the walls and all that to give to the movers. Chad Allen. So I think she went out to take a shower. Then we got to figure out what we're going to eat, folks. Maybe pork chops. I love going to the Isotopes game. Ton of fun. The place I used to like to eat in Albuquerque used to be called, when I was little, it was called Liquid Assets, and then it was just Assets. And it was a microbrew with a really kind of fancy-ish restaurant. Not expensive, but fancy. And they used to have the brick oven pizzas there, and it was so good. The pepperoni and spinach was so good. And then they had Duke City Amber. I just loved that beer. Todd Bellitz. And then the restaurant, they closed it. I don't know why. Because it was always busy. They closed the restaurant, kept the microbrew, and changed the name of the Duke City Amber to Isotopes Amber. So now they have Isotopes Amber and Slammin' Summer or something like that, a lighter. Just wonderful beer. And then when they first opened, they had like the Black Angus, like steak sandwiches, like kind of like a French dip without the dip, but they put all the juice from the beef in there with cheese. Oh, it was so good, but it's not there anymore. But they got some cool stuff there, like Dion's Pizza, green chili cheeseburgers. Um, what is that? Bananas Foster. Where they cook the bananas in like the flame. Ah, it's so good. All right, here we go. Sean Bregman. I wonder if he's related to what's his face? Alex Bregman on the Astros. Let's see if it says anything here. Doesn't look like it. No. This is in Illinois. That's funny. The one guy who plays in the league from Albuquerque is Bregman, so I guess that's Bregman. I don't know. All right, folks, moving right along. Doug Botchler. Well, the simple, old-fashioned, it's kind of futuristic, but old, like what they thought the future would be like, kind of like the Jetsons or something like that. So it's that old school, pre-war kind of baseball feel with what they thought the future would be like. And it's just simple, very classic baseball look. I love the Isotopes logo. I love their jerseys. I love the stadium. It's just a wonderful place. Inexpensive. And hey, if you ever go to Albuquerque to check it out, depending on what day of the week it is, I think if you bring in like, check their website, but you can bring in like 2 labels off like a Coke. In the old days, if you bring 2 labels of a 20-ounce Coke or bigger, you get a free ticket, or buy one get one free on certain days. It might be Pepsi now. I think the last time it was like we used Mountain Dew, so it could be Pepsi. Or so check that out, because during the weekday games that are non-fireworks, you can get in there for free. Pretty sweet stuff. And I always sat, well, if I could see it, I'll show you. I used to love sitting over there in the left field corner, just on the foul side of left field corner, maybe where old Bartman, similar to where Bartman was when Nate Bump, I remember old Nate, up in that corner where the seats start to aim in, because it was always kind of, you had some space around you, empty. This was before the nets went up in baseball, so Isotopes, the walls were so low to the ground for the fan experience. Yeah, you see people getting popped by the ball a lot, so I didn't like to sit closer to the dugouts. But now they got that big net, so I just felt a little safer over there, and I had more space to myself. Could stretch out. Nate Bump. The grass is a lot of fun. The berm. Matt Erickson, and the club seats are pretty good. I think they have the Albuquerque baseball, or yeah, I believe it's the baseball, Albuquerque baseball or New Mexico baseball Hall of Fame in there. And pretty neat. Adrian Gonzalez. So there you go. Look at that, folks. There's a name you should be familiar with, Adrian Gonzalez. All right, Kevin Hooper. Hoop. They used to also in the center field, this part here, because it used to be at Duke Stadium back here, you could drive your car in like you were at a drive-in and watch the game, and they used to have to stop the game to get people to turn off their headlights. But then they were going to redo that, but then after 9/11, they stopped that from happening. So now you can walk all the way around the back here. But this little hill is reminiscent of the Duke Stadium, because it's got like a lava rock, which Duke Stadium used to have lava rock all along the outfield wall. But this hill goes down into the field just like they had in Houston. But Major League Baseball finally made them tear it out last year. So balls would go up that little hill, and it was cool. Didn't have the light inside there like Houston, but now it's just a round convex or whatever. and goes into the stadium. Kevin Hooper, Paul Hoover. Haven't been checking the numbers out. 13. All right, I'll speed it up a little bit, folks. Anthony Ipox. Mike Judd, not to be confused with Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead. Mike Judd, which actually the Highland High School, if you look at the cartoon, he actually lived in Albuquerque for a while, and Highland High School is a high school in Albuquerque, and the design is just the same as it is in Beavis and Butthead. So I believe he got that design, and Mr. McVicker was a superintendent and a principal back when I went to school. So that must have been when old Mike Judge lived in Albuquerque, because I believe he based the high school on Albuquerque and Mr. McVicker, but they were based on, the characters were based on some people he knew in Texas, I guess. So it was a little mix of Albuquerque and Texas. Oswald Mariana and old Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul, and Walter White from Breaking Bad. They have Isotopes stuff featured in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, especially like if you watch the very first episode of Better Call Saul, he's got some Isotope stuff on his car where he's hiding out in Nebraska or something like that, and somebody recognizes him from Albuquerque. And that was Oswald. Vladimir Nunez. And so they've both been to the stadium multiple times. Dang, who is Walter White again? I can't think of his name. They even have like a Breaking Bad Isotopes t-shirt with Walter White kind of in silhouette wearing an Isotopes hat. Kevin Olson. Scott Sanders. Please like, subscribe, leave a message, set your setting up to 1.25 or 1.4, 1.5. That might sound a little more normal. Voice is just recovering now, folks. Clint Sodutsky. Here was our big hitter, Robert Stratton. So this guy used to launch him out of there. Of course, home runs fly out of Albuquerque because it's so high. But he was our big power hitter. Matt Treanor, he was one of our bigger players as well. Anyhow, Wilson Valdez. It's driving me crazy, people. Let me pause you for a second. Alright, folks, Bryan Cranston. That's who I'm thinking of. And he loved going to the Isotopes game, apparently. He said he liked going to Isotopes Park and watching the Isotopes and following them while he was shooting in Albuquerque. That he actually considered buying a house over in the university area just so he can go to those games. Chris Wakelin. Derek Wathen. So I don't know how many of these guys made it up to the show, but I think old Stratton did. Oh, and that's the other thing, that the only complaint I have about the Isotopes really is that although I didn't care for the Duke Stadium and I hated their uniforms and not a Dodgers fan, my biggest but the Dukes were winners. They won championships. They were always up there. And I know things are different now. You know, it's probably more representative of the Colorado Rockies team and what they're willing to spend. But the Isotopes have never really done anything. I think, you know, it's been 21 years and they've only made the playoffs like a few times. So that's disappointing. And they got like one of the top attendance or top 3 or 5 or number 1 in attendance ever since they've opened. And so it's like becoming the Cubs. People just go there to have a good time and don't care whether they win or not. And the team doesn't care if they win or not, it feels like sometimes. Jason Wood. And now Major League Baseball's like really got their hand in the pocket of minor leagues. All these demands and stuff, running teams out of business and all that stuff. So, yeah, I guess we're at the mercy of what the Rockies want to do. Oh, and that was the other thing, that they put it up that if they built the stadium and refurbished it, quote marks, Ken Young, president, it was done through bonds, and they would have to pay off the bonds over a 30-year period or something like that, because it was so popular in Albuquerque that so many people went to the games, they were able to pay it off in less than a decade, because they just said, we'll pay it. And now it's just all profit. And that's my point with Albuquerque. All these people are like, no, 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 fight, fight, fight. We're too small of a city. And then when they do something, people go. They flock to this stuff. The county built the amphitheater outside of the city. People flock there. And the city loses out. And so, like, we got this, not the baseball stadium, but Tingley Coliseum, where the minor league hockey played, and the NBA D-League and all that, Sean Bearer. And to end it off, our mascot Orbit. He was actually around before that Houston one that looks Orbit. But there's Orbit. So they paid off that. People go. If you build it, they'll come. But for whatever reason, Albuquerque has that small town syndrome. And yeah, people suffer. Like where they do the concerts, it holds like 10,000 people, and it's like what built in the 30s, and they're always fighting new stadium, and it's ridiculous. So I wish Albuquerque would stop thinking like such a small town, and do more stuff like this where people have stuff to do. It'd be nice to get another hockey team there, because hockey was so cool. Basketball keeps trying to go in there, like these minor league basketball independent leagues, or the NBA D-League, and because Albuquerque is definitely a basketball city, but what they don't understand, it's a New Mexico Lobos basketball city. That's what the people care about, is the Lobo basketball. So, but apparently soccer's doing really well, and the baseball's done really well. And what was I going to say? There was one other thing I wanted to say about them. Well, anyways, that's a long video, but there you go, Minor League Monday for the Albuquerque Isotopes. So hey, that's next time I do the Isotopes, won't have to go into such a long story on old style classics baseball cards. Alright everybody, well, let's leave it at that. Take care, see you later. Bye.